Hey, this is Jason with 4W Knives. Today's project, I'm taking this leaf spring and turning it into a small kitchen knife. A while back, I made a camp knife chopper that kind of had a sax look to it. A gentleman here in town bought it and asked me if I could come up with a small version that he could use to do the smaller jobs in the kitchen. So that's what I'm going to do. It was already pretty close to shape, so I just took it to the roller mill to thin it out a little bit. Make it a little bit more manageable, and then I go to the anvil. It's not going to be too much of a process. Like I said, it was already pretty close to shape. That was a small piece left over from another project, and it just happened to be exactly what I needed. Alright, so while my forging skills have gotten better, I know they're still lacking. It's kind of a work in progress. But all I'm doing here is using the straight peen to try to get where the finger goes, the finger swell is what I'll call it, and to thin the handle down. The blade part was pretty well shaped already. All I needed to do was narrow it a little bit prior to forging in the bevels. This wasn't hard, it didn't take that long. But I'm still learning how to move the metal. I think that is the point of all of this. I could have thinned it out and then just done the stock removal, but I'm still trying to get a grasp on what I need to do to move the steel more effectively. So anyways, it comes to shape pretty decent. You'll see whenever I get to the grinder. I didn't have a whole lot of steel to remove. I did have some in some spots, but like I said, it's still a work in progress. While I did the bevels on this one, it actually raised the handle exactly the way I wanted it to. He wanted one that was a steeper angle to clear away so as where his knuckles wouldn't be hitting the counter whenever he was slicing and dicing, and it worked out pretty good. Alright, so once I get this thing to shape on the grinder, I then do my rough bevels or my rough grind on my bevels, and then I head over to the heat treat. I am using Parks AAA for my quenching agent. This is new for me. I've always used vegetable oil and had success with vegetable oil, but I've just kind of gave in to all the hoopla around these engineered oils, and I'm hoping that I get the same results. This one seemed to get hard. Everything seemed to be good on it. But I guess only time will tell. I was a little bit nervous heading into the finish grind. I had some hammer marks where I just didn't hold the face of the hammer flat enough when I was doing the bevels and gouged it a little bit, but luckily they all came out in the finish grind. I guess I had it just thick enough.
All right, so after the finish grinding on the blade, I went in the house, did a whole bunch of hand sanding, glued up the scales, and here I'm just putting the final sanding on them on the grinders. This is the final shaping, getting rid of any glue, trying to also remove any of the large scratch marks put on it by the 36 grit belt that I did for shaping. After I get that done, I will take it back in the house and do a whole bunch more hand sanding before I finally get to the finished product. The scales I used are G10 layered, I believe it was green and black, gives a kind of a camo look. Same or matching for the larger camp knife that I made for the gentleman who's getting this knife. Overall, I was happy with the design. I was happy with the way it came out. Appreciate you watching, and if you haven't, go like and subscribe. If you made it to this point, you must have kind of liked the video. So I'd appreciate the subscription, and likes are always good as well. Thanks again for watching. Until the next one.